welcome to another layout. I am going to preface this layout with the fact that it took me a little bit longer because my hands, they were giving me a lot of grief. If you're new to my channel, hi, welcome. All Things Karen is here. Actually, I shouldn't say it like that because Karen sort of has a bit of a bad... I'm not a Karen, okay? I am Karen, but not... Anyway, I'm rabbiting on. Anyway, what I'm doing here, if you're new to my channel, I have got rheumatoid arthritis in my hands and my wrists and every joint in my body pretty much. And I have to say, my hands were giving me a lot of stick this day. So I took a little bit longer to get it done, which has sort of extended the video just a couple of minutes. So if you can bear with me, unfortunately, sometimes these things happen. It's life, hey. So what I decided to do is when I jumped on my last AliExpress order, I ordered a couple of dies just to see what they were like. I'm not a fan of buying cheaper dies if they are if they're clearly ripping off a major brand. I'm sure you will know what I mean. If, for example, I'm just saying, if Vicky Bouton has created a floral stamp and you can go to a cheaper site and you can find almost that exact same stamp but in a knockoff variety, I'm not cool with that. I'm not cool with that. So I'm happy to find alternatives, but I'm not super keen on that. So what I'm doing with this is I ordered a die and it came with a small and a medium sized floral piece, and I just so happened to have a punch. You can see it there. This whale punch, I bought it like 15 years ago, maybe longer. And it just so happened that it was just that slightly little bit bigger, but it's the same shape as the dies, so it worked. Now, what I was then having to sort of figure out is how am I going to get leaves behind my flowers, because even though these are what I call a cartoony leaf, a cartoony looking flower, you know, they don't look real. Sorry if you can hear that noise. That's one of the dogs. I think it's Gizmo underneath the desk. So you can see what I'm doing there. I'm taking the tiniest little bit off and I'm just giving it a slight point to the end of the petal. And then what I've done is so each of these flowers has one small, one medium and two large. So the dies, and then so they've got 4 layers per flower is what I'm trying to say. It's early in the morning. So here's my little press and seal hack that I did for you the other, I don't know, it's not even a hack. It's just, you know, don't waste your stuff, you know, you might as well get some use out of it. So this is where I have got an old cricket mat that still had a bit of tack to it, but it wasn't good enough to put through the cricket anymore. And I just put some press and seal down upside down on it, so it's stuck to the mat. And this allows me to press down on my punch or my die or whatever, and I can colour them in and it holds it down for me. So it works a treat. So if you have not thought of this, if this is something that you think would help you, especially someone like me with my hands, it's great to not have to hold things so tight sometimes. So yeah, I go through and I use my Distress Oxides, and what I do is I'm colouring the leaves with, let me see, peeled paint. So Distress Oxide ink, and it's peeled paint over the whole leaf, and then I'm flicking some gold mowed lawn just on the very tips. I'm sort of flicking it, you know, like you'd flick a toothbrush to make splatters. That's what I'm doing just to get that darker ink just on the tips. So that just gives you a little bit of a different look, something different, you know, you're not just going around the edge with something. So it's giving you something different. Now, when I cut this up the other day, I cut 2 of them down 6 by 6, and then I left this piece still 12 by 6. And I'm glad I did, because when it comes to something like this, I thought, you know what, this is going to work beautifully. I'll be able to colour all of these flowers in one hit and not hurt my hands, and this will be perfect. So this, I'm using squeezed lemonade on this particular level of the flower. Yeah, so this one will go closest to the green, and this is where I realized this stuff really sticks. It holds them down. Like, I had to use my tweezers to slide underneath them to get them off. So this really does work. And even with the Distress Oxide, you can see it on there, and it works. And at the very end, I just get a bit of water, spray it across it, wipe it with a paper towel. Once it's dried, it's ready to go again. So I'm happy because I'm able to reuse the press and seal several times, and it would be easy cleanup for me if maybe I used paint or a different medium that I couldn't just wash off. So yeah, it's really good. This color is Spiced Marmalade, and I come in with a little bit of, let me think. I think that was just Spiced Marmalade. I don't think I used another orange. I think I just left it as that. So it was just the orange. I did it light. I did a light cover, and then I sort of pressed down a little bit harder on just to get that sort of variegated leaf look. Now this is Festive Berries, and I've left this in because if you're new to my channel, I like to leave it in so you can see that there's no trick photography. I haven't chopped and cut this to the point that it seems unrealistic. It did take me a lot longer than anticipated. Now I'm just daubing some of the Lumberjack Plaid in the center of these flowers. To be honest, you really don't notice it once it's dried. You can see it a little bit there, but I think I went a little bit heavy-handed with the Festive Berries. Had I have left those a little bit lighter, I probably would have... See, this is how easy it is to clean up. See? Done. Bit of water, and that mat is back on my shelf, ready to use for my next layout, which is perfect. No waste, no harm, no foul. Now, I zoom in here so you can see exactly how I create these. I use my tweezers to help my hands, and I'm just folding these green leaves up ever so slightly. And by using the tweezers, I'm sort of folding the leaf around it, so it creates a nice curve in the leaf. Then with the flowers, you can see there, I'm not creasing them, I'm just bending them a little bit, just to give them a little bit of dimension. And I do that with all of them, and then when I put them down, I offset them to the flower that's underneath. So, and I do that all the way to the very top. And as you can see in the top left-hand corner, you're other right, guys, the left-hand corner, that's what I'm actually creating. That's the base of the flower. And I do come in, obviously, with all the sprinkly bits at the end. So stick around to see how I finish these off. And they look amazing when they're finished. And it all started off, the one thing I love about scrapbooking, if you really want to just put in the time and effort and just tiz and frizz, honestly, this was just all white cardstock to start with. Just plain flat white cardstock. Poppy Crafts cardstock from Crafts Online, $2.99 a pack. That's what this started off as. So with a couple of dies or a couple of punches, whatever you have in your little collection. Now I did speed up. I didn't make you watch me make all of those flowers. That section there was zoomed right in, so you could see exactly what I'm doing, and you can see now where I'm going with this. Now, I bought in some vintage photo to give me some definition around this wood panel. It is from Craft Consortium Wood Textures 12 by 12 paper pad, and I love Craft Consortium. They have got the most beautiful papers, and when I say papers, they're not a cardstock, they're a paper. So in order to add them to cardstock or put cardstock on top of it, it's not going to weigh down your album big time. Do you know what I mean? So this is a Peaceful Peonies brand of dye. I bought it eons ago, and to be honest, I can't find it anywhere. But the brand is Peaceful Peonies, and the dye is called Tall Branches. And that's what I've cut in the white, just to give me some variation in the background. So I did consider doing these green because obviously they're branches, but I'm using a little bit of creative license here where I have decided to leave them white to give the flowers more of a, it's adding texture, but it's not adding more color, if that makes sense. So these flowers, when they go in my album, I'll be honest with you, there's no foam tape used, there's none of that. So they will flatten out over time a little bit, but the way I do these, they don't seem to squash right down. So if you're looking for something, you might be a card maker, guys. You might not even be a scrapbooker. You might be, you might just be someone that likes to do cards. You could put these on a card, super easy, and they'll give you lots of dimension as long as you're not putting it through the post, I suppose. Now, these little tiny pink ones, they are the center, so they're the small die, and I've just used a bit of KITSCH Flamingo over the top of them, and I've kept them very pale for a reason. I kept them pale so they would create fullness but not add lots more color, if that makes sense. I felt like your eyes sort of needed somewhere to rest. At this point, I'll be honest with you, I was in so much pain and I was going to just stop, but then I went, no, because honestly, with my RA, if I stop, I'm just going to sit there and not use my hands, and then they get even more sore, even more sore. Like, you've got to keep them moving. So I kept going. I'm really glad I did, because I ended up getting to the end of this and I was really happy with it. This bit I'm not so happy with. I made the decision to use Festive Berries. Now, I've got to be honest, I wish I had have used maybe KITSCH Flamingo, but I didn't, and we live and we learn. I just felt it was a little bit too bold next to the photos. So it kind of, but that's okay. We live and we learn. We all consider that this particular bit, consider it my mistake on this layout, because there is always a mistake on your layout somewhere, for sure. Now, I want to take this opportunity to let you guys know later. So this is August. We're in August now. Can you believe that? Where has the last 8 months gone? I cannot even believe, or 7 months. I can't even believe, like, it just blows my mind. It really blows my mind. Now, I want to take this opportunity to thank everybody for your support and your support of my channel, and not only that, your sharing of my channel, sharing it out there so other people can see it. I'm absolutely wrapped. I got up this morning and I'm horrified and I'm wrapped all in the same token, and I'll explain why. I've got 1,666 subscribers. Now, I don't know about you, but seeing 666, it's kind of triggering. I'm just being stupid for a minute, but I was like, oh, come on, just one more person, just one more subscriber. And this actually happened to me when I got to 666 as well. And I remember I had a real issue with the fact that it was 666. I don't want anyone to unsubscribe so it goes down. I just want one more subscriber so I get rid of that last 6. So who knows, by the time this video goes up, I may have scooped an extra subscriber from somewhere. But dare I say it, if you're watching this and you have not subscribed to my channel, I would love to have you jump on board. I've got some different things coming up. I've bought a new paper rose collection that's just come out, and it is stunning. Like, I'm not even kidding. It hasn't arrived here on my doorstep yet, so I can't show it to you, but Whoa, it's amazing. By the way, I'm having trouble with my glue tip here. It's all me. This is not the glue. This is nothing to do with the tip. This is me. This is what I do is I leave the tip open, and it's my fault. I do it all the time. And because I thought the day was warm enough that it wouldn't do that, but I was wrong. It's all right. All you have to do, don't panic. You don't have to throw your silver tip out or anything like that. Get some hot water, run some boiling hot water through it, or tap hot water, and just use your pin or your pokey tool. I use my tweezers, to be honest, and swirl it around until the water's running free. Flick all the water out of it, put the top back on, and Bob's your uncle. It works perfectly. So it's not the end of the world, but it's annoying when it happens. And I know it's my own fault. So anyway. So at this point, you're probably looking at it going, oh, Karen, that's a bit sparse for you. That's not quite you. Stick around another 5 minutes and you will see this all just transform and come alive. The difference that these are the half pearls, flat back pearls. That's hard to say. Say that 3 times fast. That I got. I've got all of these and I've got all my backups. They're all from AliExpress, and I absolutely love them, from Alina Crafts. She does an amazing job and I absolutely love her stuff. I know there's a lot of people that have issues with ordering things from AliExpress or Wish or Temu or whatever. As I said before, as long as it's not taking creative license from someone else that's put a lot of hard work in, I look at these things and think, you know, it's a flat back pearl. You know, there's no creative license for this as far as I'm concerned. I do love the Pink Fresh Studio bling though. I've got to tell you, I love it. The glitter ones, they're beautiful. And yes, I do have them in my collection, and you can get those from several different places. And I purchased all mine from Crazy Crafted Obsession, and I think I got a pack from, I don't know, can't remember. Anyway, I decided to pull out this is where I was really starting to go, all right, it's coming together, I'm working here. The middle bit was bugging me because I didn't feel that I layered it up enough, and that really bold Festive Berries Distress Oxide, it was throwing me off. But I thought, no, just keep going ahead, because this is what I say to you guys. Just take 2 more steps. If you're not liking what you're seeing, take 2 more steps. If you still don't like it, then change it, because it's just those 2 extra steps. It might be adding the bling. It might be put 2 more bits of paper underneath. It might be grab some a different dye and introduce a different texture. It might be jump on your Cricut and, you know, create a title. It might be you might have some wood pieces, you know, some little sprinkly bits of wood. You might want to sprinkle some hearts around, some sequins, just take 2 more steps, and 9 times out of 10 it comes together. And that's what happened here for me. I just kept going and I trusted the process and it worked. So I will be honest with you. What was I going to say? I was going to tell you something then. This is what I'm putting on here now. This is just a bit of titanium white paint from MARTE, and I'm just dry brushing it just to give a little bit more movement to the Festive Berry color on top. And that really, really helped. It added an extra bit of something to the flowers, and it added more of a highlight to them, which really worked. Now, what I've got on my hand there is Glossy Accents. I have it on my hand because it started to cool down, and by putting it on your hand, it keeps it warm and it doesn't set as quick. So you've got the opportunity to do what I did here, and I pulled out one of my finer MONT brushes It was number 4, and it's a number 4 round brush. I absolutely love it for being able to do some finer details, and it doesn't take you forever because it's not super mega tiny. And all I'm doing is just going around and sort of wiping a bit of the glossy accents on some of the petals just to give that little bit of a dewy look, and it looks amazing. I think it brings a cartoony flower to life. That's my thing. I love real looking flowers, but I also love these kind of cartoonesque sort of ones as well. So I love how this turns out in the end. This is where I went to my Simple Stories, Simple Vintage Life in Bloom rub-ons and cardstock stickers to help me finish off the page. Now, you're going to see here, this is what I do. I thought I'd have a play, and I thought this is just an old bit of ribbon, and I just folded it over, put a bit of glue on it, and I thought, oh, I'll just give it a crack. This might sort of, it might work. Maybe it's too big. Nah, ditch it. It didn't work. And it was just a piece of ribbon. Sometimes the thing that was bugging me is I was going to use some muslin underneath the photos to soften it, and I didn't do it. I did the texture paste and then I forgot to do the other piece. So that's what was bothering me. But this is where it all comes together. This is the part where you go, first of all, Simple Stories rub-ons and 49th and Market rub-ons. Those two, if you like rub-ons or you like the idea of rub-ons, they're amazing. They really, really are. These, I think this collection was, I think this was around January, maybe a little bit earlier, and I love it. I absolutely love it. And by doing this, it totally pulled the page together, and it gave me more in that diagonal strip, but it wasn't more flowers. So I totally loved how it worked out, and with the pearls. And then I just decided, no, stop. And I thought, no, I just need one more butterfly, because now there's a butterfly at the top and he's all on his own. And I thought, no, he needs another butterfly. So I looked on the cardstock stickers, and there was purple was introducing a different color. I didn't want to do that, but green was okay because it pulled the green down from the word memories down to the bottom, and it balanced it. So all I did was put some of these foam dots. These are the three, what are they called? Scrapbook adhesive 3L foam dots. They're the small ones, and they're so sticky. They're fantastic. And then I just brought in a little bit of Mermaid liquid pearls, and boom, bada bing, it was done. Took me all day, and I don't normally take that long to do a layout, but it worked. See the glossy accents on the edges of the flowers? I think it looks so cool. And all the texture, but not, it won't bother me when this goes into my album if the flowers flatten out a little bit. That's totally fine with me. And I love how it turned out. So if you don't mind the shameless plug, I would love you to subscribe to my channel, especially to get me past the 666 thing. And give me a thumbs up if you are getting value from my videos. And I would love a comment as well. That would be fantastic. Thanks for that, guys. I'll chat to you soon. Bye for now.